game. They give up 142 in overtime. This defense, I mean, again, do you see, and again, not just Brook, but the defense as a whole, do you see them getting better? Do you see them having a way to get better, or is it going to have to come from a trade, or like I said, when Jay Crowder gets back? Like, is this defense good enough to win? Like, what has to happen? I mean, because at this point, it's almost like we can see this is what the defense is. They're going to give up points, and we got to outscore guys every single night. And if we don't, we're going to lose. If we do, we're going to have some fun. Is that just what it is? Can you do nothing about it? Try to play as many defenses as you can, zones, straight up, switching, scrambling, drop, try all the stuff you can, get some stops where you can, but ultimately you have to outscore guys. Is that just what we have to be every single night?
The short answer is yes, right? Like I talked to you guys about it. Y'all think I'm joking when I'm saying, because here's my thought process. You have an elite offense and a mediocre defense, you can win an NBA championship. You have an elite defense and a mediocre offense, it's probably not going to happen. That's just not the way this league works. My thing is, with this personnel, it's kind of where we're at, right? So I do think you have moves. Having said that, though, we talk about Jay Crowder and the impact of him coming back into the lineup, and if that helps a little bit, which it certainly will, sure, right? But I think at this point, right, and you guys point this out to me, right? And I think you do it intentionally. But you guys point this out to me when Dame and Beasley are on the court. You guys, oh man, these guys are liabilities, right? They're both kind of technically smaller guards, and I mean, like they're not revolving doors, but yeah, I mean, maybe they're a door that's propped open, right? Like, I mean, it's just kind of the way this thing seems to go. The other thing with Brook that I do want to point out is, and remember what Dunlop told us, right? Altered shots, there's different things that don't come up on the stat sheet that he's always done well. I think at this point he does, just from an athleticism perspective. It does look like it's a little bit tough, but maybe it is possible, like you said, that Brook is still a good defender, and but there are a handful of people that are going to give him absolute work when he's in there. And you got to figure that out. The biggest issue, though, that we keep talking about is who else do you have? If I mean, you can't go to Bobby, right? That's even worse, right? You can't put that on yacht. I mean, like, who else do you have at this point?
Yeah. Well, I also say that you kind of reap the benefits with Brook when you see what he did in overtime, and he can go step out and shoot that three and knock it down, and down the stretch
Yeah,
you get a guy who can knock something like that down in a pressure situation. So I think the other simple answer is, yeah, you can get better with this defense is if you go out and get a guard who can defend, and then you maybe just play Dame on a shooting guard or something that won't beat you off the dribble. Because if you grab somebody like a Marcus Smart who can defend on ball like that, and he's on De'Aaron Fox fighting through screens, it makes it tougher on the offense to get open looks in that pick and roll and in that drop. So I think that would be another answer, is if you can get a guard defender who can defend on ball a lot better than what we've seen so far out of this Bucks team. And I'll also say, a lot of times when I'm watching this Bucks team, there's some confusion on rotations, and guys are just getting open shots, open looks all game. And I don't know where that comes from. Maybe it is the straight line drives that's just messing this defense up, but I think that's also another area where they can definitely improve.
I think when you talk about because there are a number of baskets and they come at inopportune times where they're sneaking behind the defense. A lot of times, I think Brooks sometimes is playing a little too far up. I think I think he gets called on 3 seconds more often than he used to in the past. I don't know. I think he used to be very good at the 2.9 get out and get back in, but for whatever reason, I think he's pushed up just a little bit in that zone. And it seems like he's guarding guys maybe just a hair too far, and then like I said, either the rotation's not coming behind him, or he's not far enough to where he can get those stops. But yeah, for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to always happen.
Ride it or walk it, trying to kick the cup. Shake came up like Giannis, I get bigger bucks.